Today, it's 724-438-3900. That's 438-3900. Radio Bingo heard exclusively on your local station, 590 AM, 101.1 FM, WMBS, Uniontown.
The following program is paid for by Local Leaf by PMG in Scottdale. The program is educational in nature. The opinions expressed in the program are those of the advertiser and not necessarily those of WMBS management or stockholders, and should not replace the advice of your family physician. If you would like to learn to prevent certain conditions or reduce their severity, stay tuned to Local Leaf Live on your local station, WMBS.
Your local station, WMBS. And this is the premiere broadcast of Local Leaf Live. And here is your host, Rebecca Tolko.
Hello, everybody. Very excited to be here today. This is our first broadcast with Local Leaf Live. We are a new medical marijuana dispensary located in Scottdale, PA, just right off 119 between Connellsville and Mount Pleasant. So if you're in the area, please feel free to stop by and say hello if you have any questions. I have with me today Zach. He is our cultivation manager, or I like to call him the head grow dude, at our grow facility, Penn Health Group. And that is kind of what started us all. And welcome, Zach. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. So how long has Penn Health Group been over there? We're just in Lamont Furnace.
Yeah, so I think we got started in about 2017, 2018. I didn't come on board until 2021.
Okay.
But I have 10 years of growing experience in the industry. I started out in Las Vegas about 10 years ago.
Wow. Was it 10 years ago? Was that medical then for Las Vegas?
Yes, I moved there when it was medical still, and then got to see the transformation into recreational.
So, in Pennsylvania, all medical marijuana is grown indoors. Is that the same in Las Vegas? I mean, it's a different climate there.
Yes, most of it is indoors. There are some outdoor grows, but for the majority, it's all indoors.
Very cool. So how long were you in Vegas?
In Vegas for about 6 years.
Oh, so you were there for quite some time.
Yes.
You picked up a lot of tricks of the trade, I assume?
Definitely, since kind of the natural birthplace of medical marijuana is out West Coast. A lot of the people that I worked with, came from Humboldt and out in Oregon. And there's just a lot of information and different growing techniques that you pick up on.
And I assume that the techniques continue to grow and change with time.
Yes, it's definitely a million ways to grow this plant, and they're all wrong. So
there's always a challenge.
That's always a challenge. There's so many different strains, and the genetic diversity in this plant is just unlike any other.
Right. Pennsylvania's been in medical marijuana since 2016. You came here in what year?
2021.
2021. Okay, so we kind of had 5 years under our belt already. You stepped into Penn Health Group after we had been operational for several years.
Mm-hmm.
And how were we producing then? Were we just really focusing on flower?
Well, I think they were struggling with the flower, mainly doing concentrates and things. There was a lot of seeding issues and things that we had worked out after I got there, like having UV lights on in the HVAC systems. Those were keeping the plants up at night, getting them stressed out. So just working through all the kinks with the environmental issues and a lot of the HVAC issues.
Sounds like my house. Maybe that explains a lot with my sleeping patterns.
Yeah.
So there's like a seed to sale that we follow in Pennsylvania. And I think people don't understand sometimes how complicated the growing process for medical marijuana in general is. So where does it start? I mean, how do you pick the strains? I mean, do you get plants? Do you get seeds? Where do they come from?
Yeah, so there's one window that you're allowed to bring in seeds here in Pennsylvania, and it's usually in the month of December. And you can bring them in from different breeders. We like to uh, choose reputable breeders. We,
Usually within the United States? Do you go international?
yeah, it can be international, but
They send you like a catalog. You get to browse and pick.
Yeah, there's a lot of different websites and the trusted breeders, but we had a consultant when we first started out in Arizona, and he was highly renowned and respected. And one of our seeds, like from the Jack Herrera that we have, was given to him from Jorge Cervantes, who is you'd say, the godfather of medical marijuana.
Oh.
So that's one of our prized strains, and you really have to grow the strains in a very tight window of temperatures and humidities, and really have to focus on keeping the plants happy, because the minute they're unhappy, there is a hermaphrodite gene where they can start to seed out and just try to reproduce if they're unstable.
So really any plant can change if the conditions are not correct?
Yes.
All right,
A
so
lot
tell
of them
me
are more
about, like,
susceptible.
there's a lot of different, obviously grow facilities in Pennsylvania, and each one does things differently. And what are some of the different types of, what are things that you have to consider? Like, what's the growing medium? How do things get watered? What about, like, people are concerned about pesticide or pest management? Can you?
Yeah, so we like to grow out of a media that is cocoa and peat. They're basically sponges. It's like growing plants out of plants. We don't use soil because there's a lot of bugs that come in on the soil. You know that the cocoa and the peat are going to be clean, free of bugs, and they're not going to have any nutrients in them. So everything that you feed into the media, you can control the metabolism of the plant.
So you have to actually, like, determine your exact nutrients that you're feeding the plants. Is that done like through a water base?
Yeah, so we'll mix up a concentrated stock solution, and then as the plants get older, they get a little bit more food, a little bit more light, a little bit more CO2, and that's really the photosynthesis reaction, is when they're bringing in water with the light levels and the CO2 levels, they're making sugar.
What type of lighting is best?
We like to use LED lighting because it doesn't give off a lot of heat, and it has a lot of the different spectrum. It's got the blue spectrum, which is good for vegetative state, and then it's got even some of the red spectrum, which is good for the flower state.
So backtracking a little bit, what were some of the first methods that you were using when you started growing?
A lot of people would use rock wool. They use these clone domes just for their clones, and the problem with that is there's a lot of high humidity, and a lot of these plants are susceptible to mold and yeast and infection through their root system and in their leaves. And all the product gets tested very strict, more than the food that we eat. They'll culture it onto some agar and see over 24 hours if anything grows, and deem whether it's safe for patients who are immunocompromised or not. So
now, who does that kind of testing? Is that like a state-run thing or just a third-party company?
yeah, it's usually state certified labs.
Gotcha.
So we use an aeroponic style of cloning, which doesn't use clone domes, so the plants are more adapt to their environment, and it's not trapping in excess moisture and breeding mold or bacteria, things like that.
So what happens, when you have an issue? Do you have to, like, is there a resolution? Do you have to, like, remove all the plants and save the rest?
Yeah, you have to quarantine. You have to really spot the plants, and if you see an issue, you have to rectify it. They test you for insecticides. The only things we use are neem oil, which is a organic essential oil. That's really good for pests and yeast, bacteria, things like that. But the main thing is to always grow from seed. Never bring in outside clones or things like that could have bugs or diseases on them. So you want to kind of start all of your genetics off from seed.
So that's, the Penn Health Grow Facility. I know you're very conscientious about the quality of the plants that we put out. And you can find, like, all the different products that we produce on our website, localleafpa.com. and that's where our menu is. And at our dispensary, we carry everything that our grow produces, which is really awesome. We also distribute to other dispensaries across the state. They don't necessarily carry our full line of products, however. So localleafpa.com is an excellent place to see everything that is available. What do you think are some of what products would you highlight that Penn Health grow?
I definitely would highlight our syrups.
The syrups.
I think it is an innovative way to medicate, especially immunocompromised patients. You don't want to vaporize or inhale anything. You want to let the food be that medicine, and I think that is a very innovative way, especially to make mocktails or things like that, get
Right.
people off of other vices and get good stress relief, pain relief.
I've tried the syrup, and when I first heard that word, I'm thinking, pancakes, right? But once I saw the variety and I had an opportunity to taste, I think I had a peach, and it was a 1-to-1, so it was a 50%, THC and also CBD, which is really good for the pain and inflammation. It was more of like, I'm thinking cough syrup, but better, way better tasting. What were some of we have a really a nice variety of flavors. What are some of the flavors that we carry?
Yeah, I think my favorite is the Focus, the lemon flavor.
And that has
THCV, which
right.
kind of breaks the stereotype. It is an appetite suppressant, so it kind of curbs the munchies per se.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So curbs the munchies and
gives
focus.
you a lot of focus.
So instead of being like sleepy and tired and that couch lock some people like, this one gives you more of an uplift, probably more creative.
Keeps you more alert.
Motivated. It's called Focus?
Yes.
Focus, all right. And what flavor was that? Lemon.
That was a lemon,
very nice. And it's kind of like it'll be like a sweet lemon. I had peach. What else do we have? Like
the elderberry.
Elderberry.
That's a popular one in the Chill Plus.
We just came out with honey.
Honey.
That would be very nice to add to your tea or something like that. So there's probably how many varieties out there right now? Maybe 10, not more.
Grape, strawberry, passion fruit.
And I think we're always kind of bringing out new flavors. All right, so localleafpa.com for the menu will enable you to see what flavors are available. We also had and we like to come out with products that aren't necessarily carried in other dispensaries or other grows are producing. So we just had the Dab Go.
The Dab Go.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's
we got a little picture there.
It's an all-in-one dab pen. It's a disposable dab.
Well, what's a dab?
It's basically concentrate. So today is 710. It's oil day.
It is. What an awesome first day to have our show.
So
that's perfect.
710 upside down and reversed is oil.
And I didn't even realize that until I saw it posted that the 710 upside down is oil. Is that the origin of 710? Pretty much. Okay.
And I think this device is innovative because it's already set to the perfect temperature. It's already loaded, and it's just ready to go versus having to buy your own rig and get the temperature right. It's just on the go.
It's not intimidating.
No, not intimidating
easy.
At all.
Push the buttons and you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Right. So we're kind of like always looking for new products, new things to make medical marijuana more accessible to our patients.
A lot of things that make us stand out is everything's hand trimmed at the facility. We don't rush the cure process, and we don't harvest when the plants aren't ready. So we're always looping through a jeweler's loop at the trichomes. Once they turn from clear to cloudy, that's when the CBG turns into THC, and then once they turn from cloudy to amber, that's when the THC turns into CBN. So we always like to harvest when the plants are fully mature, which kind of makes us stand out more than everybody else.
We're not rushing the process just to turn over the product.
Right.
We're making sure that we put it out when it's at its best.
Right, when it's at its peak maturity.
Awesome. All right. 15 minutes just flies by. We'll have to come back and do this every other Thursday. We can get a little bit more in depth with some of these topics, talk about the products. Again, we are in Scottsdale on Route 119. It's a Tri-City Medical Plaza, right kind of after Connellsville and Mount Pleasant. Also very accessible to everybody in Greensburg and Uniontown. LocalLeafPA.com is our menu. We have a drive-through, very convenient, especially on these rainy days we've been having. Don't even have to get out of your car. So we hope to see y'all there.
This has been Local Leaf Live, brought to you by Local Leaf in Scottsdale. Tune in 2 weeks, next 2 Thursdays from now at 10:15 for Local Leaf Live.